Well, we're joined here in the studio by France 24's Douglas Herbert, and we've been seeing in the last half hour the people filing past that monument in the heart of Moscow in Lubyanka Square. It's basically the biggest act of defiance we've seen in a way since the funeral of Mikhail Gorbachev in Russia.
And I will also underline it's the only sort of possible act of defiance given the climate in today's Russia, where outright protest has been made all but impossible. In the early days after the full scale invasion of Ukraine, we did see street protests which were quickly snuffed out by Putin's police, and since then we've been seen almost no real public gatherings. So the way that people sort of pay their respects to a highly respected figure. Remember, Alexei Navalny is, even though the Russian state media did all it could to sort of, make sure that he was as far removed from the public eye as possible and transferred him to a penal colony 40 kilometers north of the Arctic Circle, try to get him out of the public eye, he was a known and a household name across Russia. Even if he wasn't seen all the time on public media, he was seen a lot on the private media and networks. Russians know who they are. And I will just note that, you see these images right now on the screen, and I believe these are what you were referring to, the images of people coming with flowers to the Solovetsky stone, which is outside Lubyanka. Lubyanka, obviously a very symbolic place in Moscow, because it's
where the secret police was.
It is the site of the former KGB headquarters.
Right.
It is, this is the monument to victims of political repression. The fact that people are going there, this many people, I guess you could argue safety in numbers. I guess you could also argue, because this is such an international story, Alexei Navalny is a worldwide, internationally known name. The police right now are letting this happen, also because it's Moscow. Moscow's in the spotlight. But I will note, Francois, there are other cities right now where there have been reports across Telegram and other social media platforms where you have similar types of displays, tributes to Navalny at these types of monuments, which have in some cases cordoned off by police. I don't know if we have it. There was one in the city of Tomsk in Russia. There was a similar monument to victims of political repression. The police put a blockade, a cordon around it, so ostensibly to prevent people from being able to get there, as we see they are able to do apparently here in Moscow. Also in Novosibirsk, there were people showing up to a similar type of monument to pay their respects. I believe that the images you're seeing there, also taken from Telegram, I'm not sure which account, but they are in St. Petersburg. Remember, all of the cities across Russia now do have these types of monuments. So I'm not sure exactly what's happening there. I believe that is St. Petersburg, but just to underscore that it is, perhaps you have to sort of triple underline it when you see anyone showing up and coming out in these numbers to bring flowers, to pay respects to an opposition figure. Given the context of today's Russian society, where civil society has beaten a very hasty retreat, if not snuffed out altogether, these are brave people coming out. In some places, I'll just note, in some places we've had reports of police taking the names and details of people showing up, an obvious intimidation tactic.
Right, and it was mentioned, his death on Russia 1, the state television broadcast.
It was mentioned, they did, which is notable in of itself, because it shows that you can't ignore Alexei Navalny, right? He is the most prominent opposition figure. Everyone in Russia knows he's also known outside of Russia. They see it as being weaponized. I will note, though, I'm not sure if we have it to show our viewers, but the front page of the website of the state-controlled news agency, the main news agency, RIA Novosti, we don't have it, but there were about 20 headlines on that main website as of 15 minutes ago. Not a single one had the name Alexei Navalny on it. They were all about on other topics.